I'm Louise, I'm a poet, and it's my job to write poetry, to perform poetry, and to teach poetry. This workshop is aimed at children aged 7 to 11. How old are you? Are you 4? I'm watching this at home. Are you 42? It's okay, no matter what age you are, you can have a little go. Children, make your grown-ups join in. Teachers, you've got to do the writing as well, mums or dads or carers. So today we are going to hear some poems, we're going to read some poems, and we are going to write some poems. Is it a plan? Yeah? Have you got your thumbs up? You don't seem so sure over there. Through the magic of the internet I can see you. Thumbs up? Yeah? It's a plan. Let's begin. Poets have poetry ears. We do. Poetry ears. We use our poetry ears to listen for sounds that match and to listen for the music in the words. That's right, so we're listening for rhythm, we're listening for rhyme, and we're listening for repetition, repetition, repetition all the time. We're going to put our poetry ears on now. What's wrong with you? I look really cool. Yeah, these are my poetry ears. What you need to do is you need to imagine there's a big funnel coming out of your poetry ear, and you are using this to pick up all the sounds and words in language and song around you. Now, your poetry ear could be a different colour to mine. Maybe it has a snake skin on the outside. Maybe it is pink like cotton candy. Maybe it has a picture of a rhinoceros printed on it. Who knows? What colour or pattern is your poetry ear? Great ideas, well done. Now I feel we're getting a little bit closer, you and I would like to share with you a poem about my hamster who I love loads and loads. This poem has got rhythm and rhyme and repetition in it, so keep your ears open for them. It's called The Hamster Poem. My hamster bit my fingers. My hamster bit my toes. My hamster made my earlobe bleed. Ouch! I love my hamster loads. I love you, nighttime noisemaker, when you're running on your wheel. I love you, daytime dozer. You are soft as dusk and dust to feel. My hamster is a scamster. My hamster is my friend. My hamster got lost running under my bed, but he came back in the end. Do you notice any rhymes in my poem? Go and have a look. Can you see any? Did anyone notice friend and end? Yeah? That's a full rhyme. Friend, end. Any others? Did anyone notice toes and loads? Now, does that rhyme? That's a half rhyme. The vowels rhyme, don't they? Oh, but the consonants don't match. Toes and loads. Did anyone notice dusk and dust? Yeah? Well done. That's an internal rhyme. The rhyme's inside the poem. It's not on the end of the line, is it? It's inside. I love internal rhymes. They're my favourite bit of poetry. There might have been some words that you don't know in this poem. What is dusk? Hands up, does anyone know? Yeah, so I would say dusk is when it's just beginning to become nighttime and the sky is a beautiful colour, and that's quite soft. What about Scamster? What is a Scamster? It's a nonsense word. I made it up. It's okay to make up words and use them in poems. I imagined scamper and hamster, and then I just put them together. Back to my hamster. Can you imagine how sad I felt when that hamster went missing? I used to tell that hamster everything, all my worries, like when all the other children used to say I was too tall, and I used to feel like I was too tall and everyone was always looking up at me. I used to tell the hamster all my successes, like when I got my pen license. ... Yes! We're now going to write a letter that is also a list and is also a poem. I'm going to give you a writing frame to give you a bit of a hand, and you might like to add some rhyme, some descriptive words, maybe some alliteration. You need to give your hamster a name. My hamster is called Moose, so mine would say, Dear Moose the hamster. I miss your... What could you miss if you had a hamster and it went missing? What would be... I know, you could miss his little nose, or you could miss the sound of him playing and eating his corn. I love your... What things would you love if you had a hamster? You might love your hamster's cuddles. I love your cuddles. I love the way you talk to me at night. You can use your imagination. Maybe your hamster tells you ghost stories and keeps you awake. Maybe your hamster tells you jokes. Oh, and then you get to tell your hamster all your worries. So think of something that maybe you worry about. And in this poem you can tell your hamster. I want to tell you my successes. What are you good at? I bet there's loads of things. Stuff at school, stuff at home, stuff with your family. Now it's time for you to write. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes or so to have a go. Just get all your ideas down. I don't mind about your handwriting. I don't mind about your spelling, because this is just a first draft. You can neaten everything up once you get your great ideas down. Grown-ups, if you think your child needs more time, just pause the film and give them as much time as you think's necessary. Hello, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed writing your hamster poems. I wish I could hear them. I hope you got a chance to share them with each other. Don't forget, you can take them home, add new ideas, and make them even better. Now we're going to move on to part 2, where we look at a different sort of poem. Let's continue reading some poems, hearing some poems, and writing some poems. Poets sometimes look at the world in a different way. We put our poetry glasses on and we begin to make connections with things. We can do this now. These are my poetry glasses. You can put yours on. Go on, put them on. Some people like to do it like this. Yeah? Or like maybe upside down. But I do it like this. Okay, maybe you want to do it like this. So we put our poetry glasses on and we look round the room and we begin to see things in a different way. For example, if I look up at this picture of these trees, I might think the branches of the trees look like fingers. Or if I look at the arm of this chair, it's quite squashy. Can maul about with it, play with it. The arm of the chair looks like licorice. I wonder if we could eat it. I don't think it would taste very nice, but that's the sort of things we do when we are poets. So with your poetry glasses on, you can do this at home or at school. Have a look round. What looks like something else? What could it be? We begin to make similes and metaphors by looking at the world in a different way. A simile says something is like something else. For example, the snake moved like a ripple of water. Or Jess is as graceful as a gazelle. A metaphor says something is something else. You just get rid of the word like. For example, Jess is dynamite. She is dynamite. She can't really be a stick of dynamite, but she could have the same properties as dynamite. She could be fast, she could be powerful, she could be loud. Jess is dynamite. Or a wave of terror washed over him. So terror, it's a feeling, isn't it? It's not a wave, but the feeling of being terrified might feel the same as a wave of water coming over you. A wave of terror washed over him. We get to use our imaginations. I've got a game for you now that will help warm up the imagination skills you need to make up similes and metaphors. The game is called Buzzy Bees and it involves you getting up out of your chair. If you're at home, you might be able to move around the space. If you're at school, you might be able to buzz round your desk or just buzz on the spot. I need to introduce you to some children who are going to be playing the game with us. So this is Fred. And this is Anjum. And this is Aaliyah. What do you mean? They're just fingers. They're not fingers. They're totally children. They're like 10 children in one bubble. Or very large family. Anyway, they're going to be playing with us, you know, to help us explain how to play the game. I'm going to teach you how to play Buzzy Bees. First, I'm going to give you a letter of the alphabet and you are going to come up with a shape that begins with the same letter of the alphabet. Let's have a practice. I'm thinking of the letter M. What could I be? What shape could I make with my body? I know. I am a mountain. Let me think of another one. What shape could I make? Oh, I know. I've thought of a word beginning with the letter M. I'm mad. Really angry. I'm mad. Okay, now it's your turn. But before you do your shape, we're going to make it even more fun. The game is called Buzzy Bees because you get to stand out of your chair, stand behind your desk and buzz. Buzz. And then I will count down. 3, 2, 1 and freeze. And then you make your shape. Your turn. I'm going to give you the letter S. Are you thinking? I want you to get up out of your chairs, start buzzing on the spot. Buzz. 3, 2, 1 and freeze. And your body should be making the shape of a word that begins with the letter S. How did you do? Now you've all woke up a bit and had a bit of fun, it's time to sit back down, to chill out and to relax and to hear a wonderful poem. This poem is called Mouse Begins, and I wrote it after being inspired by a poem called Cat Begins by Andrew Matthews. And Cat Begins is in this book. I'd really recommend it. It's a great book of poetry. So that's where I got this poem from. Mouse began, she took the creaking of the door. She took the rusty wheel of the bike and made her voice. For her coat, she took the softness of a baby's bum. She took the grey of the school skirt. She took the shadows of the branches of the trees. From a theme park, she took the pitter-patter of the ticket machine. She took the running of the roller coaster for her walk. Crane and steel went into the length of her tail, and for its shape she took the point of the icicle. And Mouse was made, and Mouse was made. Now I'd like you to think of an animal that makes you feel warm inside or impresses you. It could be your favourite pet, it could be your grand's parrot or your best friend's llama. It could be a mythical creature like a unicorn or a fire-breathing dragon. Some people might prefer to write about a creature that scares them, like the barking dog next door or a huge spider. It's okay to write about happy things or scary things or anything at all, really. At this point, feel free to pause to have a think and a chat about which animal, which bird, which insect you might like to write about. Now we're going to use your animals to write a new poem, but we're going to use the same structure or form as the Mouse Begins poem. I think I'm going to use a moose, not a hamster called Moose, obviously. Like, if you take some mooses or some mices or some mice, whatever the plural of moose is, and you imagine one. Here is a picture of a moose, just in case you don't know what they look like. Moose began. He took the open hand of the oak leaf. He took the freezing of the icy moss and made his antlers. So in the first verse, I look at the moose and I look at his antlers, his horns coming out of his head, and I think, that antler looks a little bit like an open hand. The antler also looks a little bit like an oak leaf. So I put that in my line. He took the open hand of the oak leaf. And then I look at Moose's surroundings, his environment, and it's cold, so I imagine the freezing of the icy moss. In the second verse, for his coat, he took the warmth of marshmallow s'mores melting over a fire. He took the bristles of the porcupine. So I looked at his coat and I thought, it looks nice and warm. What else is warm? Fires are warm. What's warm and nice? Oh, I know. Yeah, marshmallows melting. That would be ace. And then I see his coat also looks a bit prickly. And I think, what else is prickly? I know, a hedgehog. Oh, no, not a hedgehog, because a moose lives in America, so it's probably going to be a porcupine. And that's where I've got, he took the bristles of the porcupine to make his coat. In the last verse, From the forest he took the loneliness of the lost wolf. Oh! He took the heaviness of the felled tree for his walk, and moose was made. If you're writing at home, now would be a really good time to find a picture of the animal or creature you would like to write about, because then you can see the colour and the shapes in the creature. If you're at school, ask your teacher to help you. Now it's time for the writing exercise. You can do this. I'm going to give you 2 rules. The first is start your poem with the word began. So it could be spider began or kitten began, whatever animal you choose. And then right at the end of your poem, you finish with was made. So, and spider was made, or and kitten was made. I think another tip for you is it's easiest to pick 3 things about the creature to describe. I picked 3 things that I loved. So in my moose, I did antlers, coat and walk. You might do something else like eyes, claws and teeth for something you are scared of. Whatever you want, but I think 3 is the magic number. I've got some more tips and hints for you. One is a poem doesn't have to be really, really long. It can be nice and short and still be really effective. Another thing to remember is grown-ups sometimes like things to match, but I think no idea is too silly. We all think different things. We are all different. So try and be interesting. Try and think of unusual ideas and odd words. I would love that. That's enough talking from me. Use your best ideas. We're going to give you about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, whatever your teacher or grown-up thinks is best. Good luck and get writing. Thank you for having a go at writing the animal poem. I bet they are absolutely amazing. I hope you had fun writing, because we did. Happy writing! Goodbye!